March refines are out, and Byleth is good? These were unexpected. Let's talk about them, and first up, I think we need to talk about Byleth. I am really impressed with this. I know, yeah, look at this. This Creator Sword was already good. We have Slaying, Null Follow-Up, and Tempo, which was in the original weapon. But now we have, if unit initiates or within 2 of an ally, you get an Omni +4, it's nice, and damage reduction on the first attack, which is 30%, also nice. And if special triggers, neutralizes piercing from non-special skills. That's great. I know not just a huge number of units have those, but there's some very notable ones like Nana, and I have a feeling we're about to get more, just from looking at all of the special denial that we've been getting, all the way back from Brave Tiki up to the latest, which is Lucia. The build I'm showing here is just like actually not ultimate. This is pretty much what you're doing right now with any of your melee infantry tanks. So this is light season because that's where you need them the most. You have Ash, you have Peony, you have Asker. So you've got the cooldown going there to get Vital Astra going. Yeah. The only thing you might want to change here is Times Pulse 4 or Speed Smoke, one or the other. It just depends on what your team has and what you're able to get on this unit. We were doing the math though, and with the little mini Phantom Speed that Close Call 4 gives, you're hitting like 90 speed effectively. That's something. Yeah. The nice thing about this, when you have so many of these effects already in the weapon, you can start adding on special things like pairing her with Celine. I think Celine is a fantastic unit, and additional healing is huge on these tanks. What else we have? We have Robin with the Omni Unity, which is so much better than I gave it credit for, and especially in light season where you have the existence of Yoon is absolutely fantastic. Another possible pairing for this is Gateau, who is, again, amazing. If I'm looking at game modes, I think this unit is usable in Summoner Duels. I think this unit shines in Aether Raids. Like, that's what this unit feels like, and that's what it feels like they're building a lot of their Omni tanks towards right now. They're giving them to us, and they're thinking about Aether Raids, which is kind of a sea change from what they've been doing for the past year, and it's interesting. You're not going to use this unit in Arena. It's not that she's not good enough. It just the score thresholds right now are not such that you're going to have this unit available to you unless you're in the lower tiers, and then go forth, have fun, because she will do well in that mode. The real question you should be asking yourself is, where does this unit rank? And I want to talk a little bit about that. So we're going to look at the Omni tanks in general, and understand we've had just a surge of very good ones recently. I've got Lucia up at the top. If any of you guys who've been listening to me, this should be no surprise. I've been singing her praises, and she has been just barreling her way through my light season and making me look smart. And at times not so smart when I forget how the game works. But that's neither here nor there. I've got this unit in tier 2, and it's probably debatable where she sits within these units. These are all good units, keep in mind. Altina has some amazing things about her, and you've seen how her Vantage can work along with her damage reduction. It's pretty fantastic. And then you've got Corrin on the other side, who has some very neat things about her, as well as a very nice special in Negating Fang. So right now I have her in the middle there. You could probably shift her around depending on what your team looks like, though. And this is a very good placement. If you look at these other units, I mean, these are very good Omni tanks. These are all recent things that we've had pop up. So she is holding toe-to-toe with a lot of these very good units, and I'm a fan. But next, we need to talk about Fire Season. I want to put this up. Don't panic. Don't panic. This is before the refine. So yeah, I mean, let's look at what she got. I wanted a little more from her weapon. From Saintly Seraphim, if unit initiates or within 2 of an ally, you get attack speed plus 10. It's very nice. 10 is good. Deals damage equals 25% of foes' res, including area of effect weapons, which is good. If you're looking at this unit, I would think Catria Ball, I would think Area of Effect, which is the build I'm showing here. I'm really looking more at defense than anything else. But yeah, The breath effect is nice. She gets Time's Pulse in her weapon, which is fantastic. And we have Soul of Zofia 2, which has null follow-up. Desperation, which is very good again. In a Catria Ball, it means you're possibly hitting 4 times, especially since this unit has a null follow-up in the kit. And then if HP is greater than 25%, inflict speed -5. So it's kind of like you're getting speed plus 15 effectively. And then you get piercing equals 50% of foes' damage reduction. As far as the build, I mean, this is pretty standard here. This is Blazing Wind. This is attack speed finish 4 and Time's Pulse 3. Understand the only reason it's 3 is because there's no real reason to have it more if you're doing an area of effects special here. You're probably not going to get back there, but if you have Time's Pulse 4 available, it is possible that you could attack with this unit, get a dance, and then attack again. And especially with that breath, you could have 2 area of effect hits, which is really nice. Where are you using this unit though? I mean, I think Summoner Duels is an excellent case. Aetherraid's defense, again, I've got her kind of on the lower end of that, but and Arena Duels, obviously, because this is fire season. The one knock I will say on this unit is there is nothing about this kit that is particularly special. But looking at this, if you compare it with something like Exposure, if you're going up against a unit that has, say, 40 res, it's the same as Exposure. And a lot of this other stuff. I mean, getting breath is now something that you can, it's not too hard to get. Even Time's Pulse, Desperation and No Follow-Up, all of these things you can get externally. But to have them all in one kit is very nice, and just like we talked about with the last unit, it gives you freedom to go and do other things. If we're looking at the fire rankings, I've got her in tier 1 underneath Lilina and Xander. I still think Xander's a very good unit. He's just not, I mean, he was under Eitri, and that was the big complaint. He wasn't the best of what he could do at the time. Even comparing him to units that came out at the same time, he didn't cut it. Looking at Lilina, I've actually got them doing about the same role, but Lilina has the extra hardy bearing, which I think is very good right now. And I think that's something that is valuable. Still, tier 1 is very good, and I like this unit. I think this unit can do a lot of things, and this unit's fun. Let's move on to ranged nukes. And you've got to understand here, these are very, very powerful nukes, but all of these units do something special. And that's this thing we talked about just now. But understand that the tier 3 is still very good. I mean, your Arvel, your Nino tier, she just doesn't have the it factor that some of these other units do. And yeah, that's about all I have to say about this. Again, very good unit. I think this is a fun refine. I think you guys will be happy with it if you're a Celica fan. It's just, we're not talking about a Yoon level refine. One of the things that I want you guys to really notice is, as I was going through these ranged nukes, how many legendaries they're making good ranged nukes. And the thing is, they're kind of forcing you to have to swap these out if you're running Aetherraid's defenses. So keep that in mind. It's kind of a sneaky thing. It's something to watch as you're going through here. Next up, though, I think we need to talk about Mila. And right now, I'm a little higher on Mila than most people, just because I think what she brings to the table, isolation, is so good. So I already had her in tier 1 here. I have done a little bit of rearranging here. I did finally drop Dogger down. I understand that mine is amazing because I have invested in her a ton. But to the average player, she's probably tier 2. But enough about her. You guys know how I love Dogger. I definitely think Mila is tier 1. I think she's a very, very good unit. Let's see what they gave her, though. And you guys are going to laugh at this build, right? Let's go over what we've got here. Nurturing Breath. You grant Omni +4, which is nice. Like, that doesn't show up in the build that I have here just because the builder hadn't been updated. But that's a lot of extra stats there. And then you grant Omni +X during combat. X equals number of allies within 7 rows and 7 columns times 2, max of 6. Most of the time, you're gonna have that extra 6, which makes this unit even bulkier. So next we've got the standard, and this actually went up. The grants Omni +4 to allies in combat, and that's in that same range. And yeah, summoners, I mean, That is decent. I mean, the problem is it's a drive in a world where we're talking about Embla. And so it's not as good. And then you've got units and allies within 7 rows and 7 columns get dull attack during combat. This is great. I wanted dull attack and speed. That is what I really needed to see out of this. We've got Mila's turn wheel from here, and this is at start of turn, you grant follow-up denial. That's really nice. Foes in cardinal direction with defense less than this unit's defense, you get isolation and guard. And guard is very, very nice. And keep in mind that's free for this unit just being there. And being in the same column, but and then if deployed on a light team, you grant turn +1, which it comes in clutch more times than you think. That is a good skill. Now this build, I'm sure you guys are wondering what in the world happened here. Understand that even with all of this stuff is fantastic, right? This is not a combat unit. All of these things, all of these extra stats, what they do is they make her a fantastic target. Like, she is bait. Throw her out there at the end of the game and you can probably run around and grab pots while whoever is trying their hardest to break through. And that whole denial of follow-up thing really hammers that home. What I've done here is gone all out on HP, and I've got to tell you, I didn't know she got this high with HP. That is ridiculous. Keep in mind this is summoner support, but these are for Mila fans, right? This is max invest here. And Sudden Panic is nice. We've just looked at how much Pulse Ties would be good, especially with the existence of units like Carla, and with Asker being around, Duo Asker that is, you can really reverse the effect that he has on some units and put your tank ahead of the game. Also for hit and run strategies, this is a fantastic unit. Where are you using this unit? You're not using this unit in summoner duels, and honestly more because of score, you're not using this in arena. Although I will say arena assault, this unit has come in clutch for me again and again. Then where do we go here? You notice I do have to mention one thing with the build. Obviously Aether Raids is a good spot there. I did not double down on defense because I think her defense is high enough not to. But if you see otherwise, that is something that you might want to look at, as stacking defense instead, but I really wanted the Sudden Panic or the odd Pulse Tie support. So where does that move her to? Does it move her up? Does it? No. Summoners, tier 1 is very good. Like, this is good for this unit, and I mean, I gotta tell you, like, that's this is respectable. Does it put her ahead of units like Ashe? No. And I think Gateau and Asker and Peony all add something special. So that's just not going to be that way. As far as supports go, again, we've just had a glut of new supports here, and I still think she's down there in like the tier 3 region. But the fact that she's free as a mythic, as in you have to have her on your team anyway, bumps up her value a little bit in the context of that team. In the context of this tier list, I've still got her down in tier 3, but tier 3 is still very good. I mean, that's right next to Duo Dogger, who is an excellent unit. I still just think that Celine's healing is, I cannot be higher on that unit. Like, I am a huge fan. And then a Grand Strategy is very good in the context of a lot of what we're doing in Aether Raids and Arena and just about every mode right now. So tier 3 is where she's at, which is, again, respectable. Moving on to Forsyth. I like this unit. I want to like this unit more, though. We've got Soul Lance, and when unit deals damage, even if that damage is 0, restores 14 HP. We just saw Celine. We just saw how high it was on her. That's better than you think it is. So then we've got if HP is greater than 25% and within 3 of an ally, you get inflicts attack defense minus 10. That's really nice. 10 attack, we've seen that with Kill. That can really come in clutch and do fantastic things. Reduces deep wounds by 50%. What meta is this from? Have I been missing something? Are you guys seeing deep wounds just everywhere? Is that a thing? I haven't haven't seen it anywhere. This blows my mind. I don't understand why we're getting so many deep wounds counters, except that they're about to release just a ton of deep wounds units, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, follow-up denial is fantastic. If HP is greater than 50% and within 3 of an ally, you get damage reduction equals 30% of first attack. And that's nice. There are a lot of damage piercing specials right now, so keep that in mind. As far as this build goes, looking at this, understand we went back and forth on this seal, and I like Quick Riposte 3 there. This is pretty much your standard savior in Summoner Duels. The reason I like Quick Riposte is the ability to be able to heal 28 HP, which is nice. Now you got to survive that long. I understand that. You got to make sure your unit you're going up against doesn't have full no follow-up, but still, it gives this unit some sustainability that is pretty impressive. Would you rather have this as a breath? Maybe. This is one of those things you'll just have to play with, and it depends on how invested your Forsyth is. I don't know how many folks actually have a +10 Forsyth. I think I have enough for a +4 just because he's pity broken me so many times. But still, this is a respectable build. I've got him here for Summoner Duels. I think it's also possible to use him on Aether-Raid's defense. I don't know that he puts out enough damage to be on Aether-Raid's offense, but still, this is a good unit. As far as Arena, again, the scoring thing is the main driver in Arena, and this unit just isn't quite going to do it. I wouldn't even use this unit in Arena Assault, so to speak. Looking at the Far Saviors, that's right, I've got him in the bottom of tier 2. It's tough there because these other units in tier 2 have something special about them, and what I'm saying is that 14 HP that he's recovering is the same as, say, Fjorm's Null Counter Disrupt, which feels a little weird, but keep in mind I'm saying this is the bottom of tier 2, not the top. And tier 3, I think this unit is better than those tier 3 saviors, and yeah. That's about all I've got to say here. This is a good unit. If you've got him, I think you can build a respectable savior. You'll be even more excited if this unit comes in one of the Hollow forms. I think he would be an excellent pickup there. So keep an eye out for that. Next up, we have Selkie, and these, I don't know what to say about these beast units because they're driving me crazy with the amount of text. It's ridiculous. This is a really interesting Gale Force initiator, and I'm not going to show you a tier ranking on this because I'm not sure she gets that high. Still though, this is decent. You've got Slaying, which is almost a necessity for any unit that's doing Gale Force. You've got, if unit's res is greater than foe's res, deals damage equals 70% of the difference between the res max of 7. I probably are hitting 7 every time there, but not necessarily. It just depends on who you're going up against. You've got damage reduction equals 4 times the difference between those reses, and that's a max of 40%, and that includes area of effect skills. When is this unit going to be going up against an area of effect skill? I don't know. Maybe you use this unit on defense. I'm not sure what they foresaw there. That's interesting, but sometimes I'm not sure what the original intent of this, but I still think this is a very good Gale Force initiator. If foe initiates or foe's HP is greater than 75%, you get an Omni +4 during combat. If HP is greater than 25%, you get an Omni +4, and that's a visible, and then you get a null follow-up. The visible is weird to me. I would have rather had that during combat, but hey, I guess you take what you can get. If transformed, if unit initiates, you get attack defense -4 off of the opponent. You get follow-up denial, and you get inflicts Omni -4 during combat. Sorry, that is not initiate. That is just if this unit is transformed. But all in all, this is decent. For the build, you've seen this a million times now. The attack speed clash 4, the beast and trace 3, the defense res smoke 3, and speed res solo 3 there. Yeah, I mean, the thing you're going to need on this unit is some sort of breath effect. You're really going to need special acceleration, but there are a lot of units that give that now. Like, that is not a rarity. As far as where you're using this, no Summoner Duels, no Arena. There is, again, in Aether Raids as a Gale Force initiator. I think you can do that. Last but not least, we have Astram, possibly least. I mean, for you Astram fans, I think you could put together a decent unit here. I think they've given infantry units enough skills for you to put something together here. This is if HP is greater than 25%, Omni +6 to unit and allies within 2. That's very nice. Omni +4 during combat, which is also good. If within 3 of an ally, Omni +X during combat, X equals 4 plus the highest bonus on each stat between unit and allies within 3, and that's calculated independently. So you're probably going to get another 6 on there. So as far as the stats on this unit, you're going to get probably 6 because, again, he gives that out. So it's 4 plus 6 equals 10, and then another in combat of 4. So you're getting 14. I mean, drive 14, an Omni drive 14 is kind of nice. It's not bad, and you add that on looking at these stats, another 6. That's a 20 to every stat there. It's not bad, but that's how ridiculous Omni tanks are right now. Yeah, we're in that meta. Again, I'm not sure you're going to use this in any mode, but this is a really fun unit to do some kind of highlight reel with, and yeah. So looking at these refines as a whole, this is a solid batch, but with no real standouts. We do have Celica, who I believe reaches up to tier 1 there. If you're looking just at fire legendaries, if you're looking at nukes, again, she drops down a little bit. But you can see where I've got everyone. If you've got these units, I think you're happy, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a solid batch of refines. So that's where we're at. Nothing amazing, but a lot of fun stuff to play with. Summoners, tell me who you're most excited about. Who have you got built up? Who is going to be an absolute monster for you? Are you the Byleth fan? Are you the Celica fan? I mean, there are a lot of different things you can look at, and take care and schedule an appointment with your FEHology real soon.